What's the best way to contribute or grow money in your individual retirement account or IRA? NBC 12's financial expert Carlson is giving us some important tips to maximize our wealth.
Carl, the clock is ticking for the time we have left to contribute to our retirement accounts. What's really the first step if we don't have one and we'd like to set one up?
Well, you're kind of figuring out, should it be a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA? So that's going to be based generally on how much money. The more money you're making now, you might do the traditional one. If you're married and filing joint, you can only do that if you have 124,000 or less adjustable gross income. Otherwise, you go to the Roth, which you can go all the way up to 206,000 married filing joint.
Once we decide whether or not we'd like a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, how do we go about setting one up?
Well, we can do those. So Carlson Financial, or you can go to a firm like Fidelity Investments or Charles Schwab. Pretty much any of those types of firms can do IRAs. Or if you want to do one on your own, you can do it online and you can go right to Vanguard. You can go to vanguard.com, open up an IRA. They got the application right there. Transfer the money from your checking account into the IRA. Pretty simple.
Now, you can also buy investments for your IRA. What types of investments are we talking about here?
First of all, if you don't know a whole lot about stocks or buying stocks, then you could buy an ETF. That's an exchange traded fund that's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And you can go there and buy that ETF in like an S&P 500 index fund that owns all 500 companies of the S&P 500. So you don't have to pick and choose. You're just getting a little bit of all of them.
What if we just wanted to buy stocks in certain companies like Amazon or Apple maybe, and not all 500 companies?
And you open up an account with Vanguard or Fidelity, all of which you can do online yourself. They have inside their application, you can go in and buy stocks, individual stocks, and you just type in Apple in there, and then the little thing you click that says buy, and off you go. You're owning individual stocks. But you have to be careful, because you don't want to own too much of any one company, because if that company goes broke, you lose all your money. So you want to get at least several, maybe 10 or 12 stocks if you're picking stocks. And oftentimes I would say do the ones that you are aware of. You know, if you like shopping at Ulta, maybe you buy Ulta stock. Don't just invest only in one, diversify a little, or if you want to diversify a lot, do the ETF.
Should we be buying different investments for different retirement accounts? For example, a different investment for a Roth IRA versus a traditional IRA?
Generally, what you want to do is you want to own your more aggressive, the stocks you think are going to grow more in your Roth, because they're never going to be taxed. All that growth won't be taxed. When you take it out, it won't be taxed. So a little more conservative stuff in your IRA and the more aggressive stuff in your Roth IRA is generally the rule.
And that's your money. I'm Kelly Avellino for NBC 12.